Hey everybody, welcome back to their product review. I am very excited because I finally got the Beatles mono boxed LP set. Oh my gosh, this thing is heavy. There are 10 Beatles albums on here, plus an 11th 3 LP mono masters collection. This thing is just chock full of Beatlemania, and oh my gosh, is it beautiful. Look at this slipcase. Look at this. It's gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I can't get enough of this thing. Plus, this is the best part. Well, arguably the best part. You get a 108-page hardcover book, which is just gorgeous on its own. It's totally worth the price of admission. So anyway, guys, let's open this thing up and I'll show you what's inside. So we're gonna start with that, and then I'll get into the positives and the negatives if there are any, and then we'll wrap it all up. So let's get started. First, we wanna lift off this slip cover like that. We'll set this aside for now. And again, let's look at this box, because this box is so pretty. The white and the apples and that lovely Beatles logo, it's just exquisite. And now let's get to the good stuff. Look how wonderfully this box opens. It's just gorgeous. Look at that top. I bought it relatively new. It came from a private seller on Discogs, but everything was still in the shrink wrap and all the records were still sealed up. So it's pretty much new in box. Let's get rid of this foam right there. I love how well it was packaged. Most of these albums aren't really that big of a surprise. We have Please Please Me. We have With the Beatles. We have A Hard Day's Night. We have Beatles for Sale. We have Help. We have Rubber Soul. We have Revolver. Oh yeah, let's check out Sgt. Pepper's real quick. Let's move this over and I'll show you what's included, just as an example of what you get with these releases. Really well done presentation overall. Look at that, nice laminated cover. Look at the flaps, just like they did it back in '67. You get the classic inner sleeve that was made by the Fool. And also you get a copy of the cutouts, which is great. Here's the record, and it comes in a very nice poly-lined paper sleeve. Really great reproduction of the Parlophone labels. So every release also includes a little pamphlet that talks about just sort of what went into the making of this. Now, the only album that wasn't cut directly from the original master tapes was the first album, Please Please Me. A new master tape had to be made because the original was just, the adhesive from the edits started to come apart and it was clogging up the playhead. And when you're cutting a record, you have to do it in one pass. You can't stop and clean off the playhead. So ultimately they had to do that, but that's the only record they had to do that for. The rest of these are the original mono masters. Now this is Magical Mystery Tour, and the reason I'm bringing this one out is this right here. This is a brand new product, right? But the booklet already came apart. It's frustrating, but I get how in shipment, because the record was stored probably vertically, it's a heavy booklet, it's gonna slip off. Don't be surprised if yours ends up like that as well. Honestly, my original issue has the same problem. I think it's just a flaw in the design. It should have just been a separate booklet. Second to last thing I wanna show you is the White Album, because I think this thing is really cool. So first off, look at that, look how gorgeous that is, right? Laminated, you get the Beatles relief right there, you get a stamp. I'm pretty sure this is a unique serial number there. Opening up, you get the Beatles right there, very similar. But what's interesting, because I've never owned a UK pressing, the records go in the top. I really like the difference there. And again, you get these poly-lined paper sleeves. It also includes all the extra stuff like the poster and the pictures right there. Last thing I want to show you of the records is the Mono Masters LP. This thing is really cool. It's got 6 sides full of singles, B-sides, whatnot, stuff that is kind of hard to find. Some of their German language records right here. And I think it's nice how they sort of went chronologically in the play order here. Really cool stuff. Let's open it up so you guys can see. Look at that. It's got a ton of information on top of what's already included in the book. Look at that. Gorgeous pictures. Lovely lamination. Look at that. All the way across. Tons and tons of information, which is going to be such a resource for my reviews of the rest of the records here. And again, you get these poly-lined paper sleeves. Just gorgeous records. Can't wait to check all of these out. Now this is, oh my gosh, so great. This is the book that comes with it. I mean, this thing alone could probably go for like 50, 60 bucks. And I'll tell you why. Just gorgeous paper. Just great photography. Sort of chronicles everything. Yeah, and on top of all that, you get all these little great pictures of the master tapes, get track listings, you get original cutouts of newspaper articles, all this just great stuff. Let me look at that photography. So cool. I'm not even gonna scratch the surface on this. Just a fantastic book. I love all the context that it gives these records, especially the mono stuff, because as a young music listener, getting into vinyl, I didn't quite understand mono versus stereo. I understood that some pressings go for more money, but then when you really think about it artistically, this is what the Beatles intended. I would say all the way up to the White Album. Now, because the White Album is the first time they really kind of had fun with stereo effects and played with the format, but otherwise, most of the kids that were listening to this music, even some of the adults, they just had a simple turntable with one speaker. It costs more money to do stereo. This is what early 60s, mid 60s rock was based on, mono. And had I had this book from the get-go, I would have totally got it, but instead I had to sort of stumble my way through understanding it. Now, obviously, I get it, but man, this is such a great lesson into all of that. Just so, I mean, look at these posters. Gorgeous. I mean, I can't even imagine probably how much this would cost to own an original of, but just having it in this book is great. Look at this outtake of Sgt. Pepper's. So cool. Great. I mean, you can't get enough of that photo, right? Look at that. Such great stuff. And as we continue on, we get later into the White Album. And then finally we get to talk about the mono masters, which is so cool because I feel like for me, as a casual Beatles fan, this is probably where I'm the least knowledgeable. So having this, including all the text on the LP itself, is going to be fantastic. I can't wait to get into this, leisurely look at it. I mean, look at this. Look at that mixing console. It's just so cool. I mean, look at that cutting machine. Just dig it, dig it, dig it. And this last shot, so cool. I love the look of this. Fantastic book overall. I think you guys are thinking the same thing. This is a must-own, absolutely. Well, right off the bat, the entire package is so impressive. It is well designed, well thought out, hefty, well produced. I mean, there really isn't a negative about any of this packaging. I am just so impressed from the fact that they actually went back and recreated the original pressing packages for all of these albums. Even the goofy White Album, how you insert the records from the top. No, they carried that over from the original 1968 pressings down to just the weight and sound quality of the vinyl. Just really top notch. I had so much fun listening to this music. The book, oh my gosh, this book, I love this book. There was a lot I learned in this. I think if you were to buy these individual albums and not get the box set, you're gonna miss out on this book. And I think that is the complete picture. And it's great to read along as you listen. It's an interactive thing. And I really, really enjoyed going through this. I totally think it's worth the price of admission. The only thing that would have put it over the top for me is maybe some posters or something. But honestly, I don't really care that much about posters. I don't really have a lot of space on my walls for Beatles posters. So my gosh, it's just fantastic. All right, guys, the only real negative I see, and it really isn't a negative, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here, is that it doesn't have all of the Beatles albums. Nope, this stops at the White Album, 1968. That's it, because that was the last album to have a dedicated mono mix. So you're gonna be missing Yellow Submarine, Abbey Road, and Let It Be. Yes, Yellow Submarine did have a mono mix that was released in certain countries, but it was simply a fold down of the stereo mix. So it's not anything different. You could do the same thing by hitting this right here and going into mono. So it's not distinctive from the stereo mix. But that being said, you do get a little taste of what they were doing at that time beyond the White Album through the Mono Masters LP. So I think that's pretty cool. And the only other negative I see is the size of this thing. You know, it takes up much more room than the individual albums. And I think it's okay. The Beatles are a huge band, and depending on your musical taste, they're probably the biggest band in your collection. And if you're watching this, you probably love them. And so it's okay to have them take up this much space in your vinyl collection. Just indulge a little bit. I mean, this is gonna be a conversation starter. Your family and friends who come over and look at your music collection, they're gonna see this box set and be like, whoa, what is that? It's gonna be like a moth to a flame. And they're gonna be so fascinated by the Beatles in mono, and you're gonna educate a lot of people that way. I think it's pretty cool. Well, if it already isn't obvious, I absolutely adore this product. From the packaging to the music to the book, it's just a well-rounded product. And with that, I give this my highest rating, 5 Pompadours out of 5. Well guys, I highly encourage you to pick it up and do it soon because prices are going up. This thing is getting harder and harder to find through most retailers, so you're gonna have to go through a third party and perhaps even buy it used if you wanna get it for a decent price. I was lucky enough, I found this for around $279. That was with shipping, but man, I am hard pressed to find it now for under $300, but it's absolutely worth it. It jump starts your Beatles collection, and it does it in the right way, in mono, the way the Beatles intended. And then once you have this set, you're only missing 3 more albums, and you can get those in every country because they were all released in the same way. Since Sgt. Pepper's, they've all been the same album throughout the world, so that's an easy pickup. Anyway guys, I wonder what you have to say. Do you own this product? Do you like the Beatles in mono? Does it really matter to you? What did you think of this product overall? Leave me a comment down below. Until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I am your Vinyl Geek, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Hey guys, thanks again for checking out this product review for the Beatles in Mono box set. Now if you want to see more product reviews, I'll put a playlist right there, as well as a playlist for my Beatles album reviews. So have fun and click away.